Hey, what's up everybody? John the Morgile here, checking in for a bit of truth video for you. Hope you do enjoy it. So today, I want to talk about a fairly recent topic that has definitely got a lot of people stirred up. Talking about Rayshard Brooks. If you aren't familiar, basically the guy was killed by police officers down in Atlanta, not even but 10 days ago, and I was watching the video of the whole interaction, which was it was tough to watch, man. So the first thing is the guy's birthday was 1993, and the guy who was under arrest and ended up getting fatally shot didn't look like no 27-year-old kid. Now, in doing some research into Rayshard Brooks, I found this other video it's presented as being from February of this year, where the guy definitely appears to be a 27-year-old, like on the nose, right? And a bit light-skinned, too. So, now, if you haven't seen the video, it's a 45-minute video where this man is basically being berated by the police. So the guy fell asleep in his car at the Wendy's drive-thru. It's a mistake, happens to the best of us. Alright, and so they woke him up, cop woke him up, and told him to pull his car over, and the dude shut his door and fell back asleep. So the cop woke him up again, and he pulled off to the parking lot and went to sleep in the car. Then the officer took it upon his own self to, what I would consider to be illegally open the dude's car door and badgering him to basically rustle him up and get his ID. So took the guy a while to find his ID, he presented it to him, and that's when his birthday comes out as 1993, which seemed a little odd. But, honestly, and I'll put up some comparison shots here of the video from Rayshard in February and the video of Rayshard just 10 days ago. And I got to say, man, either, I'm not going to come out and make any bold claims, but it appears the guy aged like 25 years in just the last few months. So I'm going to put forth a hypothesis, and y'all run with it or call me crazy, whatever. But one thing I didn't really understand is why did Rayshard run and get the cop's weapon off of him, which is a bit of a no-no. Not saying it's right or wrong, but usually if you take a cop's weapon off his belt, you run the risk of getting killed, and that doesn't matter what race, color, or creed you are. Okay, so that's what he did, and I didn't understand. Why is he running and doing this over just a DUI, man? And, by the way, I will mention that according to sources on the internet, dude blew 0.108. And in most states, 0.1 is legally drunk. So the dude was like just barely over the limit for legally drunk. So I don't know why that seemed important to me, but it's not like he was inebriated, I don't think. He wasn't driving the car when they, quote-unquote, stopped him. And so I definitely believe that we need to change some of these laws to where the police are not just preying on people who aren't even a threat. Like this whole thing could have easily been avoided by simple de-escalation and let the guy go home and sleep it off. It's not like he was driving down the highway. I'm not advocating for driving drunk, but I am advocating for putting a bridle onto the unfettered power that the police seem to think that they have the authority over. I also think that it's worth mentioning that when they first entered the car and woke him up the first time, the dude said, "I don't feel good. I don't feel well." He expressed that right out the gate. Okay? So I think that is important too, because police officers are not doctors. They're not trained medical, and if he was confused, he really didn't know where he was at. Yeah, he was a bit buzzed on a drink, that's true, but he expressed to the police officer that he wasn't feeling well. Alright? And so instead of rousing this guy up and ultimately killing him, okay, I think that there should be something in place where this guy probably could have seen some medical attention and maybe gone home to sleep it off, okay? Now, man, I've had DUIs before, okay? Had one when I was 17 and one later on, okay? So I definitely understand that there's risk to it, but I also understand that if you're asleep in your car, you're not even driving. I don't think that you can call that driving while intoxicated, right? I mean, is there, like, what is driving? So in some states, it's like, well, if you have the keys even in your hand and the car's not on, you're still driving. Some states, it's like, oh, if the key's in the ignition and the car's on, then you're driving. But honestly, the dude was in a parking lot, and he was asleep when they approached him. And he expressed that he wasn't feeling well. He was clearly confused, and it just seems like, man, this could have gone way differently, so many different ways, so easily. And I'm not pointing any fingers at anyone in this, but the police do have a bit of a power trip, and they have been given this perceived authority that they are superior to everyone. And, you know, I think that needs to change, man. I don't think that it is necessary to incarcerate every single person that falls asleep in their car in a Wendy's parking lot, or kill them, or any of that. I think that punishments should fit the crime. And, you know, perhaps a good compromise, I think, would be if you get DUI, you get caught DUI, especially if you're not even driving the car, that maybe put you in a cell overnight, no charges, no booking, no record, and just let you sleep it off to ensure that you don't go driving around in your car drunk. But I think that would be something. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but it's just senseless, man, that this dude died a senseless death for no reason. And the hypothesis that I'm presenting to you here makes a lot of sense why he would have ran and did what he did if he was potentially facing time, right? And the story, it was said Rayshard had been in jail for a year. He had just recently got out. And so, you know, I didn't understand why he would run like that and risk his life to get away. Now, if you humor this hypothesis that perhaps the dude with Rayshard's ID was not Rayshard, but an older gentleman, maybe his uncle or something, because they do have similar traits and mannerisms. But if that's the case, then perhaps the reason that he ran is because he knew that when they booked him and fingerprinted him, they could potentially figure out who he was, and maybe dude was facing some time. Maybe. Now, I'm not saying that's the case, but take a look at some of these images, these pictures, these still frames, and let me know what you think, because, you know, like this one here, this is from February, that's Rayshard. It looks like on the nose 27. And then here's this one from the other day, and the dude, again, you know, you be the judge, man. I don't know. But this is one of those things where I just, you know, I have to point this out to you guys and let y'all look into it, dig in. You know, it's better to have a couple hundred people digging in on something than just one. So y'all look into this. Let me know what you think. And don't get mad at me for pointing this out. This is just something that I think it needs some attention, because it makes a whole lot of sense. It really does fit together. Why'd he run? The whole thing. So chew on it. Put it in the comments and save it if you're going to call me crazy, because I already know it. All right. Love you guys. Take it easy. See you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.